Hey guys, Venus here, and as promised, we're going to do a review on the new Athearn Genesis Sd70Ace. We're also going to compare it to the older one, which is the very first generation Ace as well. So yeah, there'll be sound clips somewhere in this video, and then we're going to go over the details right now. So, do you want to start off?
Yeah, sure. Alright, so, we'll mute the locomotive just so you can hear us talking a little better. But you can see the detail's really great. It's kind of what you'd expect from Athearn Genesis. On the Pilot, you have good MU hose detail. They don't come with MU cables, but that's just kind of an Sd70Ace thing. I don't know. Athearn Genesis just doesn't include them on this model. They do on other models, though. You have the Train airline hose next to the coupler, you can see there. And then it does have good scale size ditch lights, as well as the Athearn acetyl plastic handrails, which are good. They're very thin, and I'm sure if you tried you could break them, but as long as you're careful, they're fine and they look good.
I've never broken Athearn.
Yeah, I really haven't either. I don't know why people complain. You have to be really trying, I think. I mean, it is easy, but just they look good, and just leave them alone, I guess. But you can see there are grab irons going up the side of the nose on the right-hand side there, and then there are two sandfill hatches on the notches in the nose, as you can see there. And you can see this locomotive is the later Athearn production. I don't know, I think this came out either last year or this year, but it has the high headlight mounted above the cab windows, as well as the number boards that are white with black lettering. Then also the side cab windows are tinted per the prototype, and you can see the paint is really crisp too. I'll just point that out. You can see there's no bleeding or anything, and then the logo's very fine. You can see there are little smaller decals down around the nose right there. There we go. And on the walkway, or the steps up to the nose of the locomotive.
Alright, yeah, so down the side of the locomotive you have crisp decals, you can see there's actually the EMD and the truck designation on the side frame right there. Truck detail is very nice, as you can see. Most Athearn Genesis models are that same echelon, upper echelon of detail. As you can see, I'm trying to see here. We have decals and warning placards along the side going down. Up top you have detailed fans that are see-through. Horn looks good. It's not like thick as I don't know some are. I don't really know any models that are now, but yeah.
Well, actually, if you look, if we compare really quickly, I just noticed this. The horn. Oh, geez, focus. On this locomotive versus, they're both K5 LLAs, which is correct. But notice how thin that one is compared to the original run, and how thick and bulky that one is. And I don't know if that's, I doubt that's prototypical. It just looks like they resized their horn and recast it, and it looks a lot better, I think, on this one.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. We'll spot these differences between the two in a little bit, but yeah. So going down the side, same amount of detail on the back. You want to move around to the rear.
Yeah. You can see actually back there the dynamic brake compartment. There's actually a see-through. Yeah, and you can actually see the equipment in there. And then the one quick difference in the handbrake wheel. Hold on, if we can do it. You can see, notice that wheel, that's the early version EMD brake wheel with the many, I guess, spokes, and this is the later version, which is just the thinner 3-spoke wheel. I guess, yeah, we can turn it around. Look at the other side, which is
another thing I noticed too is the GPS dome on top. It's the same style, and it's almost the same size. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but I don't know, the newer one just looks a little bit more defined. And
yeah, it does.
The modeling on top. So it's really big details. I don't know, difference.
And then you can see on the inverter cabinet back here, there's good louver detail that is actually corrugated mesh metal that does have holes in it and is see-through. And then the louver going down the side that is painted on but looks very good. Oh, that's right, I forgot. And then on the fuel tank, you can see there's actually good, sorry about that, it's shaky, good hose and cable detail as with the trucks on the other side. You can see there are the jacking pads on each quadrant of the locomotive. One thing to note actually from this run, I don't know if this was just like a one-off thing or if it was for the whole run, but the sand lines, if you can see them in there, right there, and then they're on each corner of the locomotive, those were separate and we had to apply those separately, and that was a big pain, but yeah, it was close to impossible. I couldn't even get the pegs in the provided holes, so I just glued them like near the pegs and they look fine, but that's just something to note. I'm not saying that you should avoid buying this run just because of that, but that was just one difference I noticed. And then also the cab event recorder was also separate. So speaking of that, we can excuse me, look on the inside of the cab here, which looks good. I don't know what other details to point out.
Another thing, on the bottom of the frame between these two, you see there's a lot. It's just the piping's a little bit different running along the frame on the bottom. I don't know if that's prototype difference. I don't know why they changed that, but in my opinion, it looks good. And I mean, I don't know, you be anal like that. And
yeah,
notice every single detail. But
yeah, it's just something to point out. You do notice, like right there on the frame, the molded on pipes and stuff are a little different on that one to this one. This one has much more defined molded on details, and this is a little more recessed. That might just be like individual locomotive differences, but just something to note.
you light it a little bit. I mean,
yeah. So I really think that's about it for details. I mean, we can just do like a kind of a scan across the locomotive so you can notice anything on your own. I don't know what else to point out.
Also, did you dull code this one, or is that just?
No.
Okay, yeah. I mean, the tone of the orange is a little bit different.
Yeah,
like, minusculely different. You can't even really tell.
Oh, and then also this is per the production run, which is also the reason why this one has a low nose headlight versus this one having a high headlight. But you notice on top the anti-skid material on the roof of this locomotive is a gray color, like a lighter gray, and very noticeable. While on here, it's still a gray, but it's a very, very dark gray that resembles black, and that's prototypical. The 2006 production Aces have that, while this is a 2007 production Ace. The BNSF kind of changed that, which is actually probably not BNSF's choice. It may have been EMD, but I think that's about it for the details. Again, I'll just kind of like scan over the locomotive so you can see it for yourself. And then I think now we will go on to the lighting and compare the two locomotives. Alright, okay, so now we're going to look at the lighting, just compare it really quick. As you can see, it's about the same. I don't know if
yeah, it looks about the same. This one's like a little bit brighter on the newer one.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's about the same.
Can't really tell. You'd have to be in person to notice the small detail. And obviously, on the left Ace, you can see one ditch light burnt out, but it's 3 years old, and I think that happened not too long ago, so that will just happen eventually, so that's not like a flaw from the factory that just happened, so yeah, so now I think we're gonna go to another clip and check out the mechanism of both locomotives. They should be about the same, and then we will show you a sound comparison, and then maybe a little bit of running after that too, around the layout. Okay, so I think we're going to do a little bit of a look at the mechanism of both locomotives. I'm not sure if there'll be anything really discernible with the differences, but oh, what are you doing? Sorry. So it might be the same, but if you notice anything, you can judge for yourself. They're both the Athearn Genesis drive. I don't think Athearn's really changed anything with their motors. They still have the dual brass flywheel and the universal joint that lead to the gearbox, I believe. But as many people know, the first run of the Aces did have some truck problems that caused them to derail and short circuit, and my unit happens to be one of those, I believe. So I might have to send it to Athearn, and I've waited 3 years for that, but I'll do that at some point. But that's just something to note. Other than that, I don't think either run's had running issues. So let's look at here's speed step 1. Or I guess that's speed step 1. So that's very slow. That's probably like 2 or 3 miles per hour. And it runs smoothly through the curves. Here's an S curve. Yeah. And yeah, you can hear how quiet the drive is. I'll just put the speaker by the motor. There's actually no sound except for the wheels clicking on the rails. And it makes smooth transitions between speed steps. It's not jerky or anything, so. Now we can look at the other Ace. Alright, now we'll look at this one's slow speed operation and then its acceleration.
So that's speed step 1.
Yeah. There's a squeak there, I don't know what that is.
Pick it up a little bit.
And you can obviously change all the configuration variables to set start voltage and stuff, so I think that's just default. This one's pretty quiet too. It makes more noise though than the other one, definitely. There's some motor noise. Sorry, I'm trying to hold it still.
So you basically get the idea.
Yeah,
that's
that's
a very good drive.
Yeah, so it's Athearn Genesis, very good. I think that's it. So now I'll show you a sound comparison of the two, and then we'll do a little bit of running around the layout, probably with these two consistent. So let's get to the sound comparison.